hi to all of you. I have already posted my mixing of my limited palette, and that's the palette I'm going to do or paint with today. And I did have a question about that, and the question was, are you working with open acrylics? And the answer is no, I'm not. And a lot of people think that acrylics do dry right away, and yes, they do. But with that being said, what I do is I mist my acrylics with water, just a slight misting, not a lot of water, just a slight misting, and then I'll put clear plastic wrap over it and make sure that all of the edges are sealed. That way it will stay fresh for you. Now, I actually made that video 2 days ago because yesterday we were really busy here at the Millworks. We had a Christmas bazaar, and I knew I wouldn't be able to paint, so I decided to wait until today. So I mixed this palette 2 days ago, and I just took the plastic wrap off of it, or saran wrap, and it is as fresh as it was when I did it. And I always use freezer paper as my palette. The shiny side is the side that I use, and then I mix up my palette, and then I will put the plastic wrap over it. And so this is the second day. So what I'm going to do with this, and this has been very, very textured, and what I used as my texturizer or my paste was Liquitex Super Heavy Gesso. And that's what I use, and I really like it. It's not heavy gesso, it's super heavy gesso, and it's real thick. And I like the consistency and the butteriness of it, and it does not crack. And I have it on really, really, really thick, and it does not crack. So it will take at least 24 hours to dry, sometimes 28 or 30 hours if you have it on real thick. But what I did is I put it on with a palette knife, and I did put some design into the middle, which I usually don't do. But this time I decided to, because I did something similar to this, what I plan on painting May of 2017. And as soon as I hung it on the wall, hi, I'm filming, but you're more than welcome to look around. No, you can look around.
Okay,
I'm filming here, so.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much.
I have put the Liquitex Super Heavy Gesso on top of this, and then what I did, it was drying for 2 days, and then I put the Quinn, the Golden's Quinn Azo Gold, nickel gold. Oh Lord, what's the name of it? It's the Quinn Nickel Azo Gold. That's what I am using, and that is also one of my colors on my palette. So, and everything is on sale today. So, and there's 3 of us in here: myself, my husband, and my daughter.
Great.
So,
Oh, very cool.
so you'll see different types of artwork.
Yeah, great, thank you.
So the first thing I do, if you've watched any of my other videos, you do know that what I do is I always start putting lines on it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just going to put some lines, and this is just black paint. And as you can see, I have different size shapes. I have a larger circle, a smaller circle and a medium-sized circle. And then here is a different size circle. Here's another circle. So I want to have different shapes, and I also want to have different size lines. So I am going to take this up, and I'm going to take it out over here. I didn't want to take it out over here because it would be too matchy-matchy. So I took it out over there. And I have one going out on this side. Maybe I'll take it out right along here. And you can see the distance from the edge is different than this. So that's why I did that. Now, I also want to do a smaller line. And again, I'm just using black paint. Try not to think. Definitely not in the thinking stage. What I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to have some fun. And I'm playing around. Think about when you were a small child. How would you paint when you were a small child? You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care if you stayed in the lines or if it was messy looking. You wouldn't care at all. And that's when it starts to get better. Some of these lines maybe I want to make thicker. What they are. So there. That's a thicker line going into something much thinner. Make this one a little bit thicker up here. Okay, now I do want to make some other types of lines. And I'm going to put more of a white line into it. And this is this art crayon. It has become one of my favorite marking tools. And if I can find, well, it's backwards, isn't it? Yeah. It's backwards. It's an art crayon. It's very creamy, and it's made by Marabou, and various supply houses carry these, and you can also get them on Amazon. But as you can see, as you use it, you can turn it to get more pencil or color. And I wanted to make something light because I have black up, so we're going to do light. And I wanted to go over my black lines. Make different kinds of lines. And again, I'm not thinking, I'm just kind of scribbling and having fun. Do a little bit more of that scribbling over on this side. Okay, let me see if I can find a white one. Here's a black one. Let's see what. Oh, here's a white one. That other one was more of a flesh color. Here's a white one. Well, not that much difference. Not that much difference. here's a black one. So the line is a little bit different than what the black paint is. And I'm also going to use a pencil for some thinner lines. Hopefully you can see that. Now I have a nice mess going on here, but it won't be messy for long. I just want to put some marks on here. Okay, now I'm going to start, and most of this is dry. There's a little bit of the black line that isn't dry, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. What I'm going to do is do what I always do, and that is start with my handy dandy brayer. And I'd probably do more painting with my brayer than I do with a brush. I finish my paintings off usually with a brush, but not always. And this brayer that I'm using that I really, really love, and I get them by the dozens from Hobby Lobby. And if you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, you can order from Hobby Lobby online. So, and I always wait until they have free shipping, so I don't have to worry about shipping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover most of this with my really dark brown, and then I'm going to try to pull out the composition from it. And I'm going to have a very light touch because I want that Quin gold to show through in all the nicks and crevices of the painting. So here we go. Again, I'm going to start with dark brown, and this is the brown. This is actually raw umber, the color raw umber that I mixed with the Quin gold. So here we go, and I'm just going to paint basically the whole thing. But as you can see, I have a very, very light touch because I want the gold orangey color to show through. And some of you will say, well, why did you bother to put all those lines on it? That activates the canvas for me. And sometimes I cover the whole thing up and sometimes I don't. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to cover this entire thing with a darker brown, which is the raw umber with the Quin nickel azo gold. And it's more now, it's more like a burnt sienna. Now, I don't know if you can see that or not, but my white lines are showing through. It might not show up in the video, but I will give you a closer look at it later. So some of my lines are showing. And the reason why I use the brayer as opposed to a brush is I don't want to cover up my entire background surface, the orange color, because the brayer only picks up the top. But with that being said, I'm going to stand back for a minute. There's a lot of orange showing through, which I don't necessarily like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to cover up some of those orange areas. I'm not going to cover it all up because I want some of it to still show through. But it's too much showing through. Okay, that's much, much better. That's much, much better. I think I'm going to take a little bit of black over it, just for the different textures. Just for something to be just a little different. Hello. You're more than welcome to come in. There's 3 of us in here, myself, my husband, and my daughter, so you're more than welcome to walk around. Everything's on sale. Push those lines back just a little bit. You can see, now that's that art crayon that's coming through there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the whole thing again with a little bit of black, and I'm going to let the orange show through and the brown show through. As you can see, and I'm just going to very lightly go over it. I hope you can see this on the video. And I like that right now I have showing orange, brownish color, and black on my surface. So that is giving me a good history. And the size of this canvas, by the way, it's 30 by 40. Now I'm going to go back and take a look at this to see if I have to add any more black anywhere. Wow. I'm really liking this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a color shaper. It's one of these, and it's something with it has a rubber tip, and these tips come in different sizes. They're called color shapers. And you can also use the eraser end of a pencil as a color shaper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can paint some lines into the wet paint. And I'm sure it is not showing up on the video. So I have done that now. And what I have to do now is I have to let it dry. So, and then the next time I do this, I will be showing you how I am going to make a composition out of it. It's kind of in its ugly stage right now. Okay, this is what it looks like right now before it's dry. You can see there's quite a bit of orange showing through. You can really see my texture. Let's get closer in so you can kind of see the different colors showing through. There you can see you can see the brown and you can see the black. So it has a lot of history going on even now. And there's even my lines showing through, which is kind of surprising. So you can see I'm really surprised at how much orange is showing up. But I have the option of covering some of that up later. So there we go. That's what it looks like now before we start. And tomorrow we will continue on. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. You mean a lot to me.